It's funny how a lot of cliche sayings are actually true. One that comes to mind is if you want to see the change in the world, then you got to change yourself first. In one of our last videos, Ray discussed the topic of nothing ever actually happens, and to basically just focus on your reality screen, to focus on your life, because that's all that actually is real. Now, when you say that to people, it can be triggering to some people because they're like, well, there's a lot of things going on in the world. There's a lot of bad things happening. There's genocides happening. There's climate change. All these things are happening. The list can go on and on. While I don't deny, these things are happening, there's a lot more nuance to that topic that he was discussing. And it kind of ties in that, you know, if you want to see change, you have to start with yourself. And while we could acknowledge these atrocities that are happening in the world, we don't want to absorb them because so many things are fighting for our attention, and we only have so much attention we can give, only so much energy we have. And if we're spreading our attention thin, our energy gets dispersed and it becomes harder to create that change we actually want to see within ourselves and in the world. Because when you spread yourself thin, it's harder to become that better version of yourself. And real change isn't created through resistance. This is created through policies or protests, but rather the transformation and the evolution of self. It is learning to expand your awareness and elevate your consciousness so you can better understand yourself and the data you are taking in, expanding your knowledge and your wisdom. Because when you can change yourself, you become this resonant frequency within the collective field that people can pick up on. You can become magnetic, electrical, like this signal, this pulse that people want to be around. And they want to understand how you got to where you are. And this is how real effective change happens. Because you create that ripple effect, like dropping a stone in the water. You affect the people around you and then they affect the people around them, and it spreads out and out and out until eventually the baseline of the human collective consciousness slowly starts to raise. And then these outdated programs of war and genocide and whatever else it may be can no longer exist because that frequency doesn't match the new frequency of the baseline of human collective consciousness. And that's why things haven't changed, because we haven't reached that new baseline yet. And that's why you see things repeating in history like war and genocide. But as we slowly raise the frequency to this new collective baseline, again, these programs will dissipate. But it doesn't happen, as I said, by focusing on everything outwards, but by focusing inwards. And this is how we can design our reality on the individual level and on the macro scale as well. Just remember, as things come into your screen, you can be present with them, compassionate, and give it your attention and move through it. Because that's how life works. And that is how we design our reality.